Tonight, you're going to die. You're going to fly. You might talk to someone who's already dead, or relive a memory that never actually happened. And by the time you wake up, you'll have forgotten almost all of it. This happens to you roughly 2,000 times a year. Scientists have studied it for over a century, and they still don't fully agree on why your brain does this. But what they've found is stranger than anything you've dreamed. If you live to 75, you will spend roughly 6 years of your life dreaming. Not sleeping, dreaming. 6 years inside a world your own brain built, populated, and destroyed before breakfast. For most of human history, people assumed dreams were messages from gods, from spirits, from the dead. It wasn't until the 20th century that anyone caught the brain in the act. In 1952, a graduate student named Eugene Azarinsky was studying sleep at the University of Chicago, and he needed a test subject. He used his own 8-year-old son, Armand. He wired electrodes near the boy's eyes to track tiny movements, expecting almost nothing. Sleeping eyes were assumed to sit still. Instead, the machine picked up bursts of rapid, jerking motion again and again throughout the night. At first, Azarinsky thought his equipment was broken. It wasn't. He woke his son during one of these bursts and asked what was happening. The boy was mid-dream. Azarinsky and his supervisor, Nathaniel Kleitman, had just discovered REM sleep, rapid eye movement, the stage where nearly all vivid dreaming happens. For the first time, dreaming wasn't a mystery you had to take someone's word for. It was a physical event you could measure on a machine. But finding where dreams happen didn't explain why your brain bothers to make them. In 1977, 2 Harvard researchers, Alan Hobson and Robert McCarley, proposed something that felt almost insulting. They argued dreams might not mean anything at all. During REM sleep, a primitive part of your brainstem fires off random electrical signals with no story, no logic, no purpose. Your cortex, the part of your brain responsible for language, memory, and reasoning, receives this chaotic noise and does what it always does. It tries to make sense of it. It grabs fragments of memory, faces, fears, unfinished conversations, and stitches them into something resembling a story. Your dream isn't a message, it's your brain's narrator refusing to say, "I don't know," even when the input is garbage. That theory reframed dreaming as a byproduct, not a purpose. For a while, that was the answer. Then researchers started noticing something the noise theory couldn't explain. Sleep researcher Matthew Walker at UC Berkeley ran a study where people learned an emotionally disturbing set of images, then slept. Using brain scans, his team found that during REM sleep, the brain's stress chemical, noradrenaline, drops to its lowest level of the entire day. At the same time, the amygdala, the part of your brain that generates fear and emotional intensity, reactivates old memories to essentially rehearse them, but this time without the chemical that makes them feel dangerous. Walker called it overnight therapy. Your brain replays what hurt you, minus the part that hurts. This is one reason a memory that felt unbearable on Monday can feel merely sad by Friday if you slept enough in between. Every night, your brain isn't just filing memories away, it's quietly diffusing them. But that still doesn't explain why so many dreams are nightmares. If your brain is trying to calm you down, why do you dream about falling, or being chased, or losing your teeth? A Finnish cognitive neuroscientist named Antti Revonsuo proposed an answer that reaches back further than therapy, further than memory, back to survival. He called it the threat simulation theory. His argument, dreaming evolved as a training ground, a low-stakes flight simulator for danger. In studies of children's dreams across multiple cultures, the single most common theme by far is being chased. Not by anything modern, by something ancient, a predator, a monster, a faceless pursuer. Ravunsuo found that people who experienced real threats while awake, trauma, danger, violence, had measurably more threat-related dreams than people who hadn't. Your brain, night after night, has been quietly running combat drills against dangers that mostly don't exist anymore. That racing heart when you wake from a nightmare isn't a malfunction. It's your ancestors' oldest alarm system, still running, still rehearsing for wolves that went extinct in your bloodline thousands of years ago. This is why you can't fly, breathe underwater, or see the face of a stranger clearly, but you can run from something you can't name and feel genuine terror. Your dreaming brain is extremely good at emotion and threat, and remarkably bad at fine detail. It's not building a movie for entertainment. It's stress testing you. And it's why children, whose brains are still learning what danger even looks like, have more nightmares than adults. They have the most rehearsing left to do. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. To dream at all, your brain has to do something it never does while you're awake. It has to generate a version of you. A you that walks, feels, and reacts entirely from memory, with no real body giving it real signals. Every night, your brain builds a simulated self and drops it into a simulated world, just to test how that self would react. The you in your dream last night wasn't a memory. It was a rehearsal of a person your brain believes is you, running through a danger, a memory, a fear, so the real you wakes up slightly more prepared than it fell asleep. You've spent, or you will spend, 6 years of your life as a character your own brain invented, being chased by things that aren't there, so the person reading this right now could survive a little better. Every night, without asking permission, your brain rebuilds you from scratch, just to see what breaks. Tonight, it will happen again. And by morning, you probably won't remember any of it, but your brain will.